Hey, Jen, how are you?
Great. How are you? I always hold my breath. I always have such weird technical
Same,
issues.
same. I do too. Every time. I'm always like, Wi-Fi, are you going to? Are
Uh-huh.
you How are you today or this
I'm okay.
evening?
I just had my real life book club had a Zoom conference call at 7.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm in like full book mode.
Oh, that's awesome. Was it a good book club?
It was. We were trying, so we had missed 2 book club meetings because of quarantine. So we were talking about After the Flood and then about Olive Kitteridge, which I know is your absolute favorite. I will
Well,
say
I
most people
won't
in the book club,
disparage any books on this podcast or
most
on
people
this Instagram
in
live.
my book club agreed with you. So
Oh,
you are not
really?
alone. Yeah.
It was funny. I read that also for an in real life book club,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, I think for that it was like people either loved it or they
Yeah.
didn't like it at all. There was not a lot of in between. Hey, Ashley.
Yeah. Hey, Ashley.
Well, let's get started.
Yes.
I've got a lot of feelings.
I do too. I was trying to do this on the treadmill and it was not a very efficient workout because I kept stopping and being like, oh my gosh, I have to write that down. Oh my gosh, I have to write that down. Yeah, I took a
I
lot of
know.
notes.
Yeah, so did I. Well, it was funny. My daughter was working on her teacher sent out like a choice board for her. So she was like sitting there with headphones doing a brain pop and like taking notes on renewable and non-renewable energy. And I'm sitting at the table with her with my headphones in, taking notes on little fires everywhere.
Oh, that's great.
So, you know. Well, before we get started, let's do a bookish check-in. So what are you reading?
So I just started this one. I'm reading an e-galley for NetGalley. It's Julie Bucksbaum's Admission.
Oh, I love
And it
her.
is, I know, she's so good. And I saw this and I was intrigued. So this is inspired by the whole college admissions scandal.
Ooh,
Yeah. And so I was
that sounds awesome.
intrigued. And I've only read the first 2 chapters, but the point of view is the daughter of the movie star who is, or the TV star who was arrested because of it.
Mm, that sounds
So
interesting.
yeah, so far it's great. And I love Bucksbaum's style. So
Yeah.
I'm immediately immersed in that character, but she's alternating between the morning her mom was arrested and kind of looking back and then like what led up to it. And so,
Oh.
I'm 2 chapters in, so it's gone back and forth once, but so far it's good. How
So
about you?
it's YA.
Yeah, it is YA. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sad and also embarrassed to say I'm still reading American
That is
Royals because
okay.
I'm just not getting through many books. So I'm still reading. I still like it. I'm not reading a ton.
Yeah.
I'm finding it really difficult to read at home right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm still plugging along. I did get my book of the month box in this week. So I've got 2 books because it's my birthday month. So I got to get an
Yay!
extra. So I chose Valentine. So I'm excited about these. I'm like, I think I'll read them soon, but who knows.
Yeah. I also got Valentine and I didn't get Beach Read from Book of the Month. I got 3 books and then immediately regretted not having gotten Beach Read, but I was able to get it from Edelweiss
Oh, good.
and I loved it. Oh my gosh. It's so
Yeah,
good.
I was chatting with someone on Bookstagram yesterday, and they said that it was good, but it was a little bit sad, and
Yeah.
that and I was like, oh man, I was hoping that would be like a really like fun light read, and she said, well, it wasn't that, but I loved it. I thought it was great, and so um I said that the dinner list had been like that for me, and she
Yeah.
said that it was the same. Like she had gone into that one as well, thinking it was going to be light, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. But she loved it, so I'm hoping that I still like it, even though it might be
I
a little
think you
sad.
will. I think you're really going to like it. I ended up wandering into a buddy read about it that I'm really enjoying. So I'm going back and we're reading it all week, like 2 or 3 chapters a day, and I'm
Oh,
rereading. And
oh,
it's
that's
been
awesome.
great. Yeah, so it's one that is standing up to a reread, which for a romance, they're not typically intended to do that, but
Yeah,
it's got the depth in it. Yeah, I think you're gonna love it. But it's also like super
yeah. It
fast
looks
and it's
fast, and it's not too.
steamy.
Yeah, it's steamy. You know how
It
I
is
like the
steamy.
steam. Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Oh,
Okay.
Ashley said she's hoping to start that tomorrow.
I
Yes.
think she's talking about American Royals. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I missed it, Ashley. But yes.
Yeah. I think
I need to start that too.
Yep. So let's start talking about the episode. So this is episode 4. The title of the episode is The Spider Web. And we open in 1992 with Linda basically losing a pregnancy, which I thought was excruciating. I mean, like, I was just felt so, I mean, I just thought that was really a hard moment to watch. Mm-hmm. So let's start talking about our overall impressions. What was your overall impression, Jen?
I was like, thank goodness it is back, because last episode we both had some feelings that maybe episode 3 was not as strong as episodes 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And I thought this one, I mean, The Spiderweb is the perfect title, because all of these little threads that they've been bringing into everything are now connected. And you see the way these different characters have become connected to other characters.
Yeah.
You see the way the relationships are interwoven and starting to affect each other. Mm-hmm. And I just felt that viscerally through the whole thing. Like I said, I mean, I could not get through like a minute on the treadmill without having this gasping reaction to something that somebody did to something else, or something someone said. I thought it was really powerful. What did you think?
I thought the same. I found myself having really like visceral reactions to characters this time that I didn't have in episode 3. And I don't know that they're the same as I had in the book. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I definitely thought it was jam-packed, and I definitely thought that we saw a lot of the relationship start to develop, and to see how each one was kind of intertwined with the other. Mm-hmm. So I guess, what was something that worked for you in the episode?
Wow, there was a lot. I guess I will highlight this one because it is something that I have highlighted before as not working for me, and I felt like it worked today. And that is the whole thing between, I mean, I guess it's kind of a love triangle between Pearl and Moody and Trip. And I have been complaining that I did not think Trip seemed appealing at all, and that I did not understand why she would be attracted to him, and I didn't understand him as a character. And I felt for the first time like I could see a little bit who he was, and I could understand that Pearl is not attracted to him. I mean, I don't want to say it all, but she's not attracted to him. She's attracted to the lifestyle and what he represents, which I had seen before.
Yeah.
But you can see, like, he feels guilty because he knows how Moody feels about her, and he's trying to help Moody develop a relationship with her. And so then his guilt when he gives in, yeah. I mean, it is not, I don't even think the strongest scene in the episode.
Yeah.
But I was so relieved that I felt like it was going to work, because for a while I was like, this is just always going to be a write-off for me. And for the first time it wasn't. Sorry, that was really long-winded way of saying it was good. It was okay. It was good. I don't know. I don't want to say it was amazing, because it wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
But it worked. So how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like I have a hard time understanding. I understand why Pearl wants a platonic relationship with Moody.
Yeah.
But I still have a little bit of a hard time understanding what she sees in Trip, because I still felt like he seemed pretty, like we said last time, for lack of a better word, douchey. Yeah. In this episode, I felt like only after they had sex did he seem like a real like he was actually thinking about the ramifications of his actions and all of that. So like I did appreciate that part, but I still felt like I don't feel like they have a lot of chemistry.
No,
but I do.
Go ahead.
No, well, but I do think, like, having been a teenage girl myself a long time ago, I mean, I do get that appeal though of a boy who is, you know, unattainable or super popular, and like this, you know, that kind of like, you know, I guess it goes back to Trip giving Moody the tips about how to treat a girl, which are horrendous. Yeah. But I do think that sometimes with teenagers that is effective, which is terrible. Like, I mean, I'm not advocating for that at all, but I do think that it is effective at times in certain situations. And at a party like that, I feel like, she saw him surrounded by girls, and then she thought that they were appealing. But I do think it plays into some stereotypes too.
Yeah. I mean, I think when Moody says at the party to Trip, why do you think that would work? You could never get a girl like Pearl. And he so desperately wants to believe that she's better than I had to laugh at all the Jens and Jen, there are 5 Jens in my class. I was like, yes, that's true. I graduated high school in 1994, and there were a million. I'm Jennifer Lynn, and there were a million of us who were Jennifer Lynn. But when she tells Mia, of course, so she's talking about the baby, and that the baby would be better off with the Richardsons than with BB. And when she says, of course, her life would be better with the Richardsons than with BB, look at what they can give her. And you know that she is talking about that she would have been better off with, I might have mixed up the last name, Bill and Linda aren't the Richardsons. She would be better off with the Richardsons than she is with Mia. And you know she's seeing that. And so it's almost like she doesn't care how she gets into this family. She just wants to be in the family.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
but that doesn't mean it's great, and that doesn't mean he's not still loathsome. But.
Yeah, I definitely think it. And I mean, I think Mia recognizes that in Pearl, that she has fallen in love with this lifestyle. And I mean, I think that that all comes to fruition when Elena and Mia have that confrontation at the end of the episode, where basically they say that like Mia is like, I came to your home so that I could protect my daughter and all of that. But we don't have to go that far. But I do think that it does.
Yeah.
But I do think that it does, like that kind of sets all of that up, that in the beginning of the episode, for that big, powerful moment at the end of the episode. Well, for me, like, there were some things that worked really well for me, and then some things that I was like totally, I don't know, scratching my head on for this episode. The one thing that really I thought played out well was Izzy and Mia's relationship, and kind of this hero worship that Izzy had for Mia. I thought that played out really well. And I think that the actress, I don't have the all the other episodes I've had IMDb pulled up, but I don't have that pulled up for this. But the actress who plays Izzy, I think she does such a good job. I mean, I think she has a subtlety to her performance that to me makes it seem really authentic. Like the way she feels about Mia, and the way that she goes in and works on the projects when she's doing those scripts, and it's her mother's face, which I felt was very, very dramatic. But I also did not remember that from the book.
I didn't either.
Anyway, so I think that relationship works really well, and I really buy that she has this hero worship for Mia.
I mean, I buy the swapping of the daughters. That she has
for sure.
with Mia, totally. And that Pearl. I mean, when Pearl goes to the house and says, "I'm not here," because Elena says Moody's not here, and Lexi and Trip aren't here. Yeah, and she says, "I'm not here for them." I mean, that whole swapping, I think, has been set up really well.
Yeah. And I think that is some of the strongest acting that we're seeing, are the two leads, and then the two girls that kind of are the center of the kind of the conflict.
I agree.
What did not work for you? I'm really interested to hear.
I mean, so I have a hard time separating whether I think the Lexi storyline isn't working or I just find it to be really annoying. But I have a hard time. Yeah, she is little Elena, but every time she's on screen and lecturing somebody about something that they can't possibly understand, I just have a really hard time. I think the BB subplot is getting much better, but I still feel like there's something missing in there for me a little bit. But yeah, I mean, overall, I didn't have anything that stood out a whole lot. It sounds like you've got a couple things. What didn't work for you?
So my thing is the BB Mia storyline, like, I don't know if it's the choices that the actress is choosing for Mia, but to me, like, it all seems very vindictive. Like, to me, like, in the book, I felt like Mia had this vested interest in BB and who she was and her and what she wanted to do, regardless of how I felt about either side of that. I felt like I could understand Mia, and I felt like I understood the relationship. For this episode, I thought that it felt like the only reason that Mia was making the choices she was making with the BB storyline was because of how much she loathed Elena and the Richardson family and the lifestyle that they have, and how and I mean, I guess, like, it felt like there was some jealousy with Pearl's relationship with the family. And to me, like, that makes Mia such an unsympathetic character. Whereas when I read the book, I found her, I mean, I got frustrated with her for sure in the book, but I also found her to be sympathetic, and I also found her, I was able to, like, empathize with her and see her point of view because of the situation with her, like, that she had to come out of with Pearl. But I felt like in this episode, to me, Mia is portrayed as a villain who is trying to wreck like, I just felt it was way more nuanced in the book. And, like, in the episode, I just felt like, I mean, like, especially when she is, like, standing there and that picture of Elena is going up in flames in the strips. I mean, I'm like, what are we trying to portray here? Like, I just feel like it is not very nuanced, and I don't feel like, I feel myself getting, like, being like, Mia's the bad guy. Not necessarily Elena's the good guy, but I feel like Mia's the bad guy who's trying to ruin this, like, Linda's family and, you know, and take her baby. Whereas in the book, I had a lot more of, like, this emotional, like, I could see both sides very clearly. And I just feel like I'm being more manipulated to look at one side in the show, which I'm not enjoying as much.
I feel like that more with Mia and Elena, but I think the inability to understand each other between Linda and BB, I think, is still really strong. And I have not been in love. Yeah, I've not been in love with the flashbacks that they've had at the beginning of the episodes until this one, which you talked about earlier, with Linda having to give birth clearly to a baby who is going to be stillborn. And you understand that this, from her side, all that she's doing is helping a baby who needs help. But you also completely see BB's side. And I thought when Mia says to Elena, you didn't make good choices, you had good choices.
Yeah.
I thought, and I do think that the reason, like, it's not about Elena and it shouldn't be about Elena.
No.
But I thought that was really powerful because she is trying to communicate that BB didn't make a horrible choice. She made the best choice she could make for her daughter, given the circumstances that she had. And maybe, I don't know that I still think that's the best choice, but I understand the choice that she made to leave the baby in front of the fire station.
Yes.
It was quite dangerous.
And I feel like that dynamic between Linda and BB seems authentic. And I also felt that confrontation between Elena and BB seemed really authentic. And I mean, like, I was frustrated with Elena there. I just feel it's something about the way that Mia is being portrayed that I feel like she sees, like, I am seeing her, or I feel like I'm being manipulated to see her as a villain, or like someone who's really vindictive and calculating. Whereas in the book, I did not feel that at all.
And I think part of that's that, we talked about this a little bit last time, it's that alternating total calculation and then carelessness.
Yeah.
It's like she manipulates the situation very carefully to get to a point, and then she just, like, throws her hands up in the air and it's just like, well, I don't know what to do now. And so, I mean, and the whole decision for her to sell her art in order to pay for the attorney bills, I think that's all. Sorry, some people are saying stuff here.
Yeah, I was looking to see what Caroline said. This episode for me felt like where the characters from the book versus show seemed really different and not in a great way. Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think too, like when Mia says to Elena, and I was trying to write this down, I don't know, when she says white women always want to be friends with their maid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one that, because they brought race into it with the casting, that angle on things is entirely new.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I do think, I mean, like the race over the racial overtones in the show have totally changed a central dynamic that the book did not
Yeah.
have, because you didn't have all of that. And I mean, especially since, I don't know, just some of the things that have happened, like we talked about the last episode with the dinner with Elena, when Brian was there with Lexi and all of that stuff. I mean, I just think that none of that was present in the book because there weren't these racial overtones, which I think
Right.
is really interesting, but also makes a comparison between the show and the book kind of hard, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah. And there was I just wanted to say too, there was a point where it was when when Elena and Mia have not been totally upfront with each other about the fact that Mia gave BB her car, and that the night of the party, she's the one who enabled all that, when they're still like, they know, and they know the other one knows, but they're not ready to come out and say it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a point where I was like, oh my gosh, Elena has the upper hand. Like, she's the one with the power in this situation. I kind of felt like for the first time, because even though Mia's lifestyle makes it seem like she doesn't have the power, her intelligence and her ability to pierce the superficiality of Elena has given her the upper hand. And then all of a sudden I was like, Elena's got her. Like, it was horrible that she did that on the night of the party. And it was horrible that another way. Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully I'm still here. But yeah, that Elena was kind of in the right, but then all of a sudden it was like, no, like the show didn't treat it as if she had ever had that moment of power. And so I thought that was interesting too. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that exchange between Mia and Elena at the end, where Mia said the things about Elena being a white woman and all of that, I thought that was really powerful and really, like, it seemed more toward the Mia that I had experienced in the book.
Yeah.
But like some of the other things, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like sometimes during the show, with her interactions with Pearl, with just her, like like I said, the compulsion, to me, her motivation just seems so different in the show than in the book. Her motivation seems to take down Elena and like to kind of like stick it to her in the show, whereas in the book she had this really like fundamental, like foundational value that BB deserved this chance because she had no other choice when she left the baby at the firehouse, which made me as a reader feel way more conflicted because I could see both sides. But in the show, I don't feel like they're portraying that connection with BB as well. I mean, it was almost like when BB came to her apartment, to Mia's apartment, and Mia was with Pearl, like was trying to, and then as soon as BB came, Mia went to BB. That, I mean, it's still like, again, that made you feel like Mia was choosing BB over this like thing that was going on with Pearl that was really important to Pearl. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like the way she is being portrayed in the show makes her seem a bit villainous to me.
It comes and goes for me. I think there are times that she is saying all the right things. Like the part about that she didn't make good choice, that you don't make good choices, you have good choices. And I think that is where she's like, ethically, this is the right thing. You know, this is not a choice that she made that was bad. And the right thing to do is to support people who don't have good choices. But it does come and go. Like, it's almost like they haven't hit on that character. I don't know. Or I'm trying to figure out if there's something coming that I've forgotten. That just has not been articulated in the show. That just hasn't been put on the screen.
Yeah. And I feel like for me, that is very possible because I'm
realizing the more we watch how little I remember about Like there are certain moments I definitely remember, but there is a lot I've forgotten.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and I do want to say I loved when Izzy said at the dinner table, maybe you're not a good mother. You know, when they were having that whole, because I think somebody needed to say it, because I think everyone else except Mia is feeding into this idea that Elena is just perfection.
Yeah.
And someone needs to say, maybe you don't always make the right choices.
Right. I agree. And I giggled like out loud when when Elena and her husband are in bed and she says her kids have always been able to come and talk to her, and like her husband gives her the like biggest side eye ever, and I mean he's just like, what, you know, and I thought that
when
was
he said, well, at least they can talk to one of us. Yeah. So Caroline says BB feels so hysterical in the show, not just desperate to reunite with Mirabelle or May, which is understanding. The book balanced her character out better, I thought. Yeah,
I agree for sure.
Because she does seem really, like when she says to Mia, I had given up hope and that was better. And I understand. I thought that speech could have been powerful, but it did just feel out of control instead of being powerful.
Yeah, I agree. I also another part that I thought was really like I giggled during, I wanted to say, was when Tripp is sitting on the couch and Moody is talking to him, and Moody says, "You're vacuous and destined for manual labor."
That was the first thing I wrote down. Oh my gosh. I was in Google Keep, like typing desperately on my phone. Oh my gosh, it was great. That was when he was asking about Jenny McCarthy versus Carmen Electra.
Which again, I appreciate the 90s vibes. I'm like, I watched Singled Out. And I too was sad when Carmen Electra came instead of Jenny McCarthy. That's in my like teen years.
I thought when Linda I thought the time jump was really smart so that we could just see the aftermath of everything that had happened and not watch every detail of it. And then I thought when Linda says she is an illegal alien who left her baby in the cold to die, and the use of that word alien, I know I told you and Ashley when I saw Valeria Luisielli at the National Book Festival, and she was talking about the choice of that word alien as a way to dehumanize people. And I think that is what Linda is doing. And I understand why she needs to do it, because she is in full on, she is thinking only as a mother right now with a baby she needs to protect. But I also think how easy to be able to say that the other person who wants your baby is not even someone who's human enough that you have to consider her rights to be a mother, or the fact that she could be a mother, and that a good life is not just about who has the bigger house and who has more stuff to give, but that motherhood is defined in other ways. But I thought all that was really brilliant.
Yeah. I think the actress who portrays Linda she does a great job.
Yeah.
Like when she and Elena are having that interaction, when they're having the food, and Linda's looking out the window, and Elena says, I know how you feel, but blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, do you have 4 children? You know, she talks about her having 4 children who, like, I just thought that whole thing was really powerful. And I thought it was played really well between the 2 actresses.
I agree. Yeah, she looks so familiar. I need to look up. I keep forgetting to look up what else she's been in. She looks really familiar to me.
Yeah, I feel like she's had several supporting roles and things I've watched before.
She's great. All right, I'm looking at my list.
Okay, last thing. Your favorite scene.
Oh, gosh. So I thought when Mia is with BB and she tells her, she's trying to convince her that it is worth it to go ahead and pursue the effort to get Mei Ling back. And this is after she and Pearl have had their big fight. And she says she will be happy when she's with you. And you can just see that it is so much there about her having to convince herself of the same thing. That's when I think, regardless of what they're doing with the role, that I think Kerry Washington is so good, because her line reading there and the way she portrays that, the things on her face, I just think she is amazing. And so there are a lot of things about that relationship that aren't perfect for me, but I think there are some moments that were really great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kerry Washington's facial expressions and the way that she emotes, even though I don't always feel like she plays Mia the way that I envisioned her from the book, I think that she does a really good job of emoting and all of that. My favorite scene, I mean, I think I've talked about it already because I've talked about a lot of my favorite scenes. I think that one of them is that powerful exchange at the end when Elena and Mia are talking, and they both feel so justified in their own positions. And I feel like they both have valid points, but the delivery of those lines to one another, and especially Mia's lines to Elena, because Elena, you know, she has these moments where you feel really sympathetic or you feel like she gets it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, please stop talking. And I think that is another one where like Elena, she's trying to stick up for her friend who is going through an excruciatingly heartbreaking situation, which I can appreciate. But then her inability to see her privilege is so frustrating. And Mia's ability to like really draw attention to that, I just thought that was also very powerful. So that was probably my favorite scene of the show.
Yeah, I agree. I will also say, I've noticed that as we're talking, like, I think Reese Witherspoon's performance in this episode was top to bottom one of the strongest. I have not, like, she is becoming Elena instead of just always being Reese Witherspoon. I have not had to resist calling her Reese Witherspoon the way I have in our other conversations. And I don't think you have either.
No, I haven't. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Because
I think she's really, I think it's deepening.
I think that's why I can't remember the husband's name, because I keep wanting to call him Joshua Jackson.
Yeah, Bill. No, Bill
or Casey.
It's Linda and Bill. Is it Linda and Bill?
Or is it Elena and Richard?
Maybe they're both Bill. I don't think that's right.
I don't think that's right.
Bill and Bill. It's fine.
It's like all the Jens. Well, let's just, do you have anything else you want to say? I think we covered a lot of stuff.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just end just like we end every episode, and we've ended every one of these lives. We're going to do a give me one, and we're going to say, what is one thing that you hope to accomplish this week?
So we have had a hard time in my household having any sort of schedule in our family. And last week was spring break. I'll do the air quotes. And so we just didn't worry about it. But now we have schoolwork again, and my husband and I are working again, and we are like all going to bed really late and getting up late. So that is where we're hoping to get back some semblance of a schedule. We don't want to be super strict, but some sense of, we know what day it is, and we know if it's morning, afternoon, or evening, or time for bed. Time for bed would be a key one with my children right now. But anyway, so
I feel your pain on all of those things. Man, and I feel like I still don't have a good sense on how to get control of those things. So I'm going to talk about one thing that I've made for myself this week that only I control.
Yes, that is good.
So my goal was, because last week I felt like I was sitting so much, and like my hips were hurting from just sitting on my butt way too much. So my goal this week has been to get 10,000 steps every day, and I have done it so far. Yay! So awesome. I'm really trying to move and exercise and just try to not stagnate. So, and again, I should be setting all the goals for my kids, because we are having all those same struggles, but I just feel like I haven't really grabbed hold of that control yet. So I'm going to do something that I can control, which is that thing. So
I think that is a great goal. And I am trying to do that. I have been more successful some days than others this week. So my Fitbit was not happy with me yesterday.
Well, I do like, I know I feel better, but also like last week, I just was like, I feel like crap. I'm not going to get off I'm not going to do the thing. And then it just perpetuates itself. So
Yeah.
I had to regroup this weekend. So I'm hoping that I will be able to continue the streak because I do feel better and I do have more energy. So
Yeah. That's a great
fingers
goal.
crossed.
You can
Does
do
anybody,
it.
does anybody else have a goal for the week or something that they're hoping to accomplish? I didn't want to leave anyone out.
I know. I'm going to scroll back through and see. Oh, your sister had to put her kiddos to bed.
Yeah.
I think we got most of the other comments.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining in, and we hope you're enjoying this because I certainly am. I look forward to doing this and discussing. To me, like right now, watching an episode of television is way easier than reading a book. So I'm still doing the thing.
That's right.
Ashley says
Ashley
she's doing
said,
some reading and running.
that's great too.
Good. Yeah. All right. So we will be back. We'll put information on times and all of that in our Instagram stories, but we will be doing episode 5.